Hello, I'm Mary Lou Metzger, your host for this Lawrence Welk show. This program, taped in 1972, is called Transportation. Bob Ralston is featured in a great piano solo, When My Dreamboat Comes Home. And Tanya Welk Roberts sings, I'm Walking the Floor Over You. Clay Hart has his own version of the Roger Miller hit, King of the Road. And later in our show, we'll visit Welk star Ken Delo, who went from Detroit to Australia to Hollywood to join the Lawrence Welk TV show.
Looks like our kids found a very pleasant way to do their traveling. Good exercise, economical, and non-polluting. This is what our show is all about. While you folks sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. The first solo of the evening goes to our lovely champagne lady, Norma Zimmer, whose singing career often takes her beyond the sea. And this is the title of her song.
For me, our lover stands on golden sands and watches the ships that go sailing somewhere beyond the sea. He's there watching for me. If I could fly like birds on high, then straight to his arms I'd go sailing. It's far beyond a star. Just as before, happy we'll be beyond the sea, and never again I'll go
What a beautiful voice, what a wonderful lady. Now for your dancing and listening pleasure, here's the band with a song I'm sure you folks will all enjoy, Lazy River. Lazy River, there is a good dance number. Mothers of tiny babies and quite a few fathers are familiar with the expression walking the floor. In fact, I did my share of this walking the floor with this young lady's husband. Let's hear from Tanya Welk.
You left me and you went away. You said that you'd be back in just a day. But you've broken your promise and you left me here alone. I don't know why you did, dear, but I do know that you're gone. I'm walking the floor over you. I can't sleep a wink, that is true. But I'm hoping and I'm praying as my heart breaks right in two. Walking the floor over you. Now, honey, you went and went away. You said that you'd be back in just a day. You've broken your promise and you left me here alone. I don't know why you did, dear, but I do know that you're gone. I'm walking the floor over you. I can't sleep a wink, that is true. But I'm hoping and I'm praying as my heart breaks right in two. Walking the floor, walking the floor, walking the floor over you. Yeah.
I helped you, didn't I? Thank you so very much, Tanya, my very star. And some fine backing by MacMahan, Bob Havens, and Peanuts Hucko.
Thank you very much. A happy song, and I'm glad to see that the boss got into the act again, too. It's true I do a lot of traveling by plane these days, but I still have some wonderful memories of the chief means of transportation back on our farm in Day County, South Dakota. This song by Ken Delo should give you a hint. So, Ken, roll 'em.
Wagon wheels, wagon wheels, keep on a-turning. Wagon wheels, roll along, sing your song, carry me over the hill. Go along, mule, there's a steamer at the landing, waiting for this cotton to load. Go along, mule, the boss is understanding, there's a pasture at the end of the road. Wagon wheels, wagon wheels, keep on a-turning. Wagon wheels, roll along, sing your song. Wagon wheels, carry me home. Wagon wheels, carry me
You know, I guess those old days of the horse and wagon weren't too bad after all. You know, because after all, today we got the smog from all the car engines. Back in those days, you can get 15 gallons to the mile of water, that is. And you can make about 5 miles an hour, too, which is about what you can make on the Hollywood freeway during the rush hours here. And that reminds me, I got to make a stop at the local gas station here and meet a friend of mine, the happy wanderer, Arthur Duncan.
Here's a young man who works constantly to develop his natural talent. Bob Ralston plays his own arrangement of a song that fits the mood of our show, When My Dreamboat Comes Home. A master of the keyboard. We're going to ask Bob to change keyboards now and furnish the background for our fine Irish tenor, Joe Feeney. Joe's song, Around the World, and Bob, come in.
Thank you, Lawrence.
For you, I traveled on when hope was gone to keep a rendezvous. I knew somewhere, sometimes, somehow, you'd look at me and I would see the smile you're smiling now. It might have been in County Down or in New York, in Gay Paris, or even London town. No more will I go all around the world, for I have found my world in you. It might have been in County Down, or in New York, in Gay Paris, or even London town.
Now, folks, we invite all of you to get aboard and join the crowd for a very realistic cruise down the river. Our captain and our tour guide is Myron Floren.
And ladies and gentlemen, while we're watching the beautiful scenery, let's get together and sing a happy song. Who knows, we may discover another Joe Feeney, Guy and Ralna, Charlie Perlato.
Cruising down the river on a Sunday afternoon.
It's so great to watch the cast back in 1972 singing Cruising Down the River. Oh, that brings back so many memories. Now, don't go away because we've got a lot more music with Bob Lito and the Hotsy Totsy Boys. And a reminder that we'll visit with Welk star Ken Dilo later in our program. But now, back to the show.
Our audience always seems to enjoy hearing the old familiar gospel songs. And here's a bright spiritual we haven't heard in quite a while. It's one of the songs in Guy and Ralna's fine new album, Hymns We Love to Sing.
Dear Lord, oh dear Lord, oh dear, remember me. Dear Lord, oh dear Lord, oh dear, remember me. Dear Lord, oh dear Lord, oh dear, remember me. Look away beyond the blue. I got a home in glory land that outshines the sun. I got a home in glory land that outshines the sun. I got a home in glory land that outshines the sun. Look away beyond the blue. Dear Lord, oh dear Lord, oh dear, remember me. Dear Lord, oh dear Lord, dear, remember me. Dear Lord, oh Lord, oh dear, way beyond the blue.
I took Jesus as a savior, you take him too. I took Jesus as my savior, you take him too. I took Jesus as my savior, you take him too. Look away on the blue.
Dear Lord, oh dear
Lord, oh dear, remember me.
dear Lord,
Lord, remember me. Look away beyond the blue.
dear Lord, oh dear Lord, oh dear,
Remember me.
dear Lord, oh dear Lord, oh dear, remember me. Dear Lord, oh dear Lord, oh dear, remember me.
Look away beyond the blue. Look away beyond the blue. Thank you.
Thank you. Very songs I ever learned to sing.
That mother told me. Sweet.
And that was a long time ago.
Sure was.
Right now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to recreate a, what is it? Oh, yeah. Recreate a dilemma from the invention of the internal combustion engine.
I think what Guy's trying to say, folks, is that we're going to recall now the early days of the automobile. Simple.
Why didn't I say that?
I know.
Here's Bobby and Cissy.
Hey, look, everybody! It's a horseless carriage!
It'll never last.
Oh, it's a horseless carriage, the wonder of the age. The darn thing goes without a horse, 'cause it's a horseless carriage, no wonder it's the rage. There ain't no nag to drag you off the course.
So meanwhile, grab my goggles.
And please excuse our dust.
It's quite a trip. We're gonna make the picnic ground or bust. But first you pull the choke.
Oh, and then we set the spark.
Start up Nito, we gotta get there up for dark. And then you sound the klaxon.
And then release the brake.
And then you start to crank the crank, and that's about all it takes. could use a good strong pony.
A good strong pony.
Memories of our early one-nighters in North and South Dakota. Listen to Jimmy in this beautiful song about the beautiful city, Rome. Jimmy?
Arriverderci Roma. Goodbye, goodbye to Rome. City of a million moonlit places, city of a million warm embraces, where I found the one of all the faces, far from home. Arriverderci Roma. It's time for us to part. Save the wedding bells for my returning. Keep my lover's arms outstretched and yearning. Please be sure the flame of love keeps burning in your heart. Arriverderci Roma. It's time for us to part. Save the wedding bells for my returning. Keep my lover's arms outstretched and yearning. Please be sure the flame of love keeps burning in your heart. Arriverderci Roma.
Good to hear that song again. All musicians do a lot of traveling, and I have certainly done my share. In fact, I've been accused of having a little gypsy in me. This song by the band seems quite appropriate, The Gypsy in My Soul. Thank you. A good dance arrangement and some nice piano work by the two Bobs, Ralston and Smale.
I'll be waiting for the evening train. You'll be the reason I'll be waiting for the train. I'll be swinging down a country lane, timing my time to the evening train. Roll on over the hill, roll on, passing the mill, roll on, nearing the end. Here she comes, rounding the bend. You'll be cozy in a cottage small, the kind they always build beside a waterfall, with your honey who will give his all, waiting for the sun or rain, waiting for the evening train. Roll on over the hill, roll on, passing the mill, roll on, nearing the end. Here she comes, rounding the bend. You'll be cozy in a cottage small, the kind they always build beside a waterfall, with your honey, give his all, waiting for the sun or rain, waiting for the evening, waiting for the evening, waiting for the evening train, waiting for the evening, waiting for the evening, waiting for the evening train.
Flat feet, real feet, my bag, real drag.
Walking, walking, all alone. It seems I'm always heading west, hardly ever get to rest. This load that I'm carrying on my poor beat, taken back, it tells me to stop and on a never-ending road.
Ladies coming down, there's 20 miles. Road is slippery as an eel. They missed another meal, got a blister on their heel.
Still I keep walking, walking, all alone. I'll stop a day or two and then start walking again.
Flat feet, real beat, since dawn.
Right on, right on.
No bread,
No bed.
my bag,
Real drag.
Two gentlemen of leisure, Bobby Birches and Jack Emmel. And that cute song was written by a good friend of ours, Kurt Massey, a very talented and wonderful gentleman. Clay Hart picked one of Roger Miller's big hits for his contribution to our travel show. So Clay, let's hear it.
Trailers for sale or rent, rooms to let, 50 cents. No phone, no pool, no pets. Ain't got no cigarette. 2 hours of pushing a broom buys 8 by 12 4-bedroom. I'm a man of means by no means, king of the road. A 3rd boxcar, midnight train, destination Bangor, Maine. Old worn out suit and shoes, I don't pay no union dues. I smoke old stogies that I have found when they're short but not too big around. I'm a man of of means, by no means king of the road. I know every engineer on every train, all their children in all of their names. Every handout in every town, and every lock that ain't locked when no one is around. For sale or rent, rooms to let, 50 cents. No phone, no pool, no pets. Ain't got no cigarettes, but 2 hours of pushing a broom buys 8 for 12 4-bedroom. I'm a man of means, by no means king of the road. I know every engineer on every train, all their children in all of their names. Every handout in every town, and every lock that ain't locked when no one is around. The trailers for sale or rent, rooms to let, 50 cents. No phone, no pool, no pets. I ain't got no cigarettes, but 2 hours of pushing a broom buys 8 for 12 4-bedroom. I'm a man of means, by no means king of the road. Hey, I'm a man of means, by no means king of the road.
Thank you. Well, thank you very much. I guess the wheel was the first great step in the history of transportation. And right now the band is ready to play a song that's a happy little tune called Wheels. And right now to pick it off is my good friend Neil Levang, who's kind of a big wheel himself in the rhythm division. Neil, pick it.
Thank you.
Here are two happy-go-lucky young ladies. Let's listen to Sandi and Salli.
See how the fluffy clouds move by us. See how the morning mist can hide us away, and how the day is so much fun. Wow! Isn't it groovy in a daydream? Doesn't the day seem like it could never end? And so, my friend, we're one. We're one. Baby, it's funny how I can feel so sunny. When you're beside me, we can fly. Hey, Mr. Wind, just keep us high in the sky, there's no curtailing our fun. So everyone, come on. Hey, you on the ground, take a look up and see what we found. Nothing to hide us. Bluebirds come up to guide us. When you're beside me, we can fly. Oh, we
young ladies, Sandi and Salli. Yes, today we can fly all over the world. The Wright Brothers started all of this way back in 1903, the year I was born. Well, that wasn't so long ago. Bob Lido and his friends may not belong to the jet set, but they have a lot of fun in their own way. Let's watch and listen.
Those magnificent men in their flying machines, they go up to the up, they go down to the down. They enchant all the ladies and steal all the scene with their up to the up, and their down to the down.
Up, down, flying around, looping the loop and defying the ground. They're all frightfully keen, those magnificent men in their flying machines.
Thank you so much for joining us for our transportation show. Personally, I'd take any form of transportation available to spend time with our next special guest. He is a wonderful entertainer and a consummate gentleman. Please welcome Ken Delo. Hi, Ken.
Hi, how are you, Mary Lou?
Great.
Thank you for those nice words, too.
Well, it's so good to have you here.
It's always great to be here. Thank you.
Now, what interested you in performing originally?
It's hard to say because I was such a young kid. At 10 or 11 years old, I started getting into magic. And I would race to the magic store and buy books and all that kind of thing. And I just started doing magic. And my poor relatives that would come over for any holiday, I'd get up and do tricks for them. They'd have to go through it. My worst trick was once I did a thing where you pull this whole cards out at the end. It says applause. And my mother goes, applesauce? No, Mom, that's applause. So anyway, but I did magic and it led into, I tried a little ventriloquism for a while. And then I got into hypnosis, which I later picked up when I was older, and I still do that now.
Well, then how did you get to singing?
I started doing record pantomimes back in my basement and things like that, comedy things. And then you started singing along, and I never thought I was really a singer. I started doing singing in school, and in fact, 4 of us, in my senior year in Our Lady of Lourdes High School in River Rouge, Michigan, we formed a vocal group, 4 guys. And years before that, there were the famous ink spots.
Oh, sure.
The famous ink spots. So we called ourselves the Pencil Smudges, which is really dumb. And then the nun with the choral group asked us to sing a song in her spring festival. So we did Joshua at the Battle of Jericho and brought the house down. And the poor nun after came, she said, we rehearse all year long with our choir and our choral group there, and you get standing ovations and we don't. I felt very bad about that. But you got one shot, you know, and it's a little different, so.
What brought you to California?
I was in the Army. I finished up in the Army in Chicago, which I was very fortunate because all I did was shows. We had a Fifth Army group called the Fifth Army Casuals, and there was a 5-piece jazz group. I was a singer, and then a friend of mine, became a very dear friend of mine, Bob Caliban, was the comedian. He was the Tidy Bowl man on TV for all those years, and we're still the best of friends. We did shows in department store windows and things like that, promoting the Army. And so all I did was shows when I was in the Army. And I came out and met another gentleman named John Daly, and we teamed up in the Army, started doing shows like Martin and Lewis. It was the closest I would say, that type of thing. And he talked, I was going to try Broadway when I got out of the Army. I was going to go to New York. And he taught me to coming out to California. He got out 6 months ahead of me, and we kept the D-Lo and Daly team going. We broke in our act in L.A. area. Then we went to Alaska for 7 weeks in December and January, 64 degrees below zero, with our own show group. And came back, and we got booked into Australia for 8 weeks at Channel 9 in Melbourne. And that 8 weeks stretched out to 6 months. And we just kind of hit Australia, 2 young guys that were clean and did comedy. And he wasn't a singer, but we sang together, did a lot of, our comedy was based around music too. It just happened to hit the right thing at the right time. And that's where D-Lo and Daly were formed. We were very successful in Australia, came back, signed with the William Morris Agency, was the biggest agency at that time in the world, really. And they're still very big now. And then the team split up. After all that success in Australia and signing with the William Morris Agency, it's kind of a hard thing to explain because I still to this day don't quite know what happened. But John met a girl there, married her, and he wanted to go back and produce some television shows in Australia. And I said, John, we just signed with the biggest agency in the world. But he went back, and then so I started doing shows around LA and things, and then he called me a couple of years later. He's still in Australia. He said they want a D-Lo and Daly show every week here in Australia. So I went back.
This was really a phenomenon, D-Lo and Daly.
It was an amazing. It was like Alice in Wonderland. No one can know how big it was.
Well, I know when I went online to look up some information for Channel 7 in Australia,
7, Melbourne, yeah.
Celebrating 50 years. It was a picture of D-Lo and Daly on the homepage.
Yeah, that's where we did our weekly show. And it was, again, it was an experience, even for my wife, Marilyn. She was with us there, and they all knew us. You'd walk down the street, and they would be yelling out of their cars at us and things like that. Or a comedy routine we had just done the week before. They say, where's Leroy, or something like that, whatever it was.
Now, wasn't it in Australia that you met Arthur Duncan?
Our first trip to Australia, Arthur Duncan was already there. He was on. They would bring you to Australia at that time for 3 television shows a week, and then they would sell you to a hotel or a nightclub or something like that. And that's how he first went there. And Arthur was on the television show. In fact, one of our specials we did that first trip, Party with D-Lo and Daly, Arthur was a guest on our show. And then we just kept contact. And years later in Hollywood, I was doing a guest someplace, a live show, and Arthur was on the show. And I hadn't seen him probably about 7, 8 years. And he had been on the Lawrence Welk show for 6 years. So he took my album that I made in Australia to Jim Hobson, the producer and director of the Lawrence Welk show. And they played that, then they called me, had me come down to meet Lawrence at the Palladium. And Lawrence had come out, and I sang with the band. I think the first song I ever sang was Hawaiian Wedding Song. And Lawrence said, well, we like you. Maybe you'll guest on the show. And then about 6 weeks later, I got a call from Jim Hobson, and they said, well, Lawrence wants you to guest. So I guested 3 times in that summer of '69. And then Lawrence hired me October 11th of 1969. And I figured, there were no contracts, as you know.
A handshake.
Yes, a handshake. And so I figured, what have I got to lose? You know, I can stay on a year or something. And here it is all these years later. It is a phenomenal show. And Lawrence, you know, contribute that to Lawrence.
We've all been so lucky to be part of it.
Yeah, very lucky. And we have a good group, a lot of talent on that show, too.
You also guested on other television shows. The Lucy Show?
Yeah, I did the Lucille Ball show, the Lucy Show, and I did Mission Impossible. I played a robot, Mission Impossible with Peter Grace. That was another good group, too. And Lucy, God bless her, she was such a wonderful woman. I don't know if you have time to... One quick thing, I had a scene that I had to ring the doorbell, and then she would say, come in, and I would come in, and we'd do the scene together. And something during rehearsal, she stopped. She was called her director, and she's talking to him for about 5 or 10 minutes, and I'm standing backstage. And she stopped in the middle of that conversation, said, Ken, I'm sorry to keep you waiting. We'll be through in a minute. And the fact that here I'm a little actor standing backstage, and Lucille Ball knows that I'm back there. And so that really gave me a great impression of what she was or who she was. But it was wonderful. I enjoyed that.
Well, you're also an author.
I've done some writing things. I have a book out. A songwriter, yeah. Some of the things I've been lucky enough to do on the Lawrence Welk show. And yeah, I tried my hand at a little bit of everything. But and my book is just an amazing seller. No, kid. It's called The Frozen Horror. I wrote it as a screenplay, then I put it into a book form. It's about cryogenics and freezing, for the future. But it's kind of a subject that's today also.
What are some of your best memories from the show?
From the show? Number one, the people. We had quite a mixture of people, as you know, Mary Lou, and everyone was a different personality, but we all got along unbelievably well. There was no one like Lawrence. No one like Lawrence Welk, and never will be. So, as you know, he was, and you were his dance partner. I never got to dance with him. I couldn't say he was a great dancer, but he was a great dancer, just watching him and stuff.
Was. You're a wonderful guest.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much.
And thank you so much for being a part of our wonderful family of public television. Until next time, as Lawrence always said, keep a song in your heart.